So don't y'all choke up. All right. Good evening, everybody. Happy whatever day this is. I don't know. I don't know if we're supposed to say it. Happy 15 days after Juneteenth. I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, let's go with that.
That'll work.
I saw some people posting that. So whatever it is, we here, and we here to talk. Week number 48.
Yes, sir.
Broderick is the timekeeper. Week number 48, and we still here. 4th of July weekend. Week, Monday now. Banks are closed. People had an extra day off. People coming in from the beach. We had one of our great ones just come in from the beach to join us.
Uh-huh.
Getting ready while we was going on. But anyway, good to see everybody. Y'all invite and share. Invite and share. Invite and share. Tell us where you're coming from. Tell us where you're coming from. Tell us where you are coming from. I'm inviting and sharing myself. All right. Good evening. Good evening. Hello, lovers and friends. Ooh, all right. Kai McKinney. Hello, lovers and friends.
Lovers and friends. That's different.
Okay. Are you single? In case any of the gentlemen want to know, she came right in hot. Like,
yeah. Hello, lovers and friends.
I like it. I bet you she's from another country. Good evening, Kings. I love it. Good evening, Kings.
Good evening, Your Majesty.
Good evening, Queen. Somebody might get kicked off the island here. You know, that's another thing. You know,
yes, Bishop.
Why can't we flirt?
Who is the we?
Huh?
You mean us or singles?
Preachers.
Because we supposed to be saved, Bishop. We supposed to be.
We're not saved because we're single?
Uh-oh. Well, yeah, we're supposed to be anointed. Our mind is supposed to be on the word.
I'm saying we're not saved because we flirt. I'm confused here.
Yep. Because, according to a video that went viral last week, we're either gay or choking the chicken.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
You ain't fooling nobody.
I ain't fooling nobody.
Bishop, did you see the tag that she put up? She said she's single from South Carolina.
All right, Kai.
Dang, you was on that thing? Woo!
I just happened to look up. I
see you, old school player.
Yeah, she came in. She said, hello, lovers and friends.
And she wants us to know that she's single.
She spoke that thing.
Frank, what you telling me, Melinda? Oh, okay. Frank Ray is, they're in there in the expository preaching, and they're still in church because it's only 9 o'clock there. So Brother Perry, would you greet the people, or you want to appoint somebody else?
Oh no, sir, I'll do it. Good evening, everybody.
You're more anxious on here than you be with the prophets to do that.
Good evening, everybody.
I wonder why.
It's candy time.
Because he's the candy man.
Hey, he said it's
candy time. Hey, say that again, dog.
Say that again to Bishop Staples.
Oh, no.
Hey, Bishop, what you say?
Hey, Bishop. Don't do it to me. Hello, everybody. As you come and invite and share tonight, if Frank Ray was here, we would say we are the brainchild of the gentleman with the nice white pretty beard.
Oh, yes.
Bishop Greg Davis right there. So again, invite and share. Call your friends in tonight. We have a very interesting topic tonight. I think it's a taboo term, but we're going to talk about that tonight. And we're excited. Good evening, Tiffany. How are you? To everybody, invite and share. If this is your first time, let us know. It's your first time. We're looking forward to the dialogue tonight. And this is When the Right One Comes men's edition. This is for the men tonight. And so we're excited to share our hearts right now. We're excited to share pieces of our thoughts, our opinions. And we are excited again to have you with us. So again, invite and share. Put your friend's name in there. Call them in there. Call them right in here. I want to see them. Erica, good evening. Monique, good evening. You're right there in Atlanta. Good evening to you. We're excited that you're with us tonight. Again, we need at least 50 of you to continue to invite and share. We're excited. Again, Phyllis, Bowen, and Renee, and Karen, and Pamela Bell. McKinney, look at that. The Run Therapist is doing my favorite Monday night show. I understand. Yes.
Gary, why your voice changed?
Oh,
Bishop.
Yes, I understand.
Uh-huh. The Candy Man.
Did you see what she said? She don't have to go to therapy no more because of her favorite Monday night show. Now she's able to shoot her shot.
Yeah.
Yes, Prophet Perry.
This is her first time. Good evening.
Lady Cedria, that's my people.
Yes, Cedria, this is my first time watching California. Cali, good evening. Good evening. Somebody says the Candy Man's voice for me.
Hey, you
so
switched from the prophet voice to the Candy Man voice.
We got to do it. Angelica, good evening. How are
Ask
you?
some rich Bishop.
So again, invite and share. Want to see shared beside your name. We have first timers. How are you? Good evening. What is your name? Linnell. This should pronounce it Marine. How y'all pronounce that, y'all?
It looks like Maureen Lynn.
Marine Lynn. Okay.
Yeah, Marine.
Good evening. First time. Mary, YouTube land. Good evening. Hello. Jessica Miller. How are you? That's our High Ground family. Good evening. Good seeing you on tonight. Again, invite and share. If this is your first time, let us know. Share. Bishop, you want to introduce us? You want me to do it? Okay. Right next to, I can't do it like
Antoine. Then turn it over to Antoine.
Yeah, Antoine, you can introduce us, Bishop.
No, you go, and then turn it over to him.
Okay, yes, sir. All right, right next to Bishop, we have the original, one of the kings of Christian comedy, Mr. Broderick E. Rice. Y'all, Broderick is here. Right next to him, we have the bishop himself, one of the most brilliant minds concerning love and life, Bishop Antoine Jackson. Right next to me, we have a man of God that I think I admire, Dwayne. He's here this evening. The man, he's one of Bishop Davis's, called him one of the proteges. You see his beard, a nice black beard this evening, black beard. And next to him, we have the senior statesman, Pastor Herbert is here with us. And down below, we have Prophet Claiborne. He just went to his logo, but he's in America tonight, y'all. So we're excited tonight. He's in America tonight, and I am Orrin Perry. I'm going to turn it over to Bishop Antoine Jackson as he takes us further.
Man, I'm gonna pay you for that introduction, man. I appreciate you, bro. All right, so fellas, I am in charge of the icebreaker tonight, so I had to think about something off the cuff. I want each of us in 30 seconds, 30 to 45 seconds, tell us what is the worst relationship advice you've ever received. In 30 to 45 seconds, what is the worst I cannot believe you told me that bull crap. What's up? Anybody? What's the worst relationship advice you've ever received? Broderick, I'll start with you.
Okay. An older gentleman told me, as long as I am only having sex with one woman, it's not fornication.
Do, 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 do.
You said the worst.
Okay, all right.
This is about to get interesting.
This is about to be good. Yes, sir. Dr. Perry.
Come back to me. Come back to me.
Oh, Pastor Johnson.
Oh, go ahead, Pastor Johnson. Yeah.
The worst advice that I received was get married to get a church.
Jeez.
Oof,
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
That is
Yeah,
good.
that's you get the trophy tonight.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. Because they told me the same thing. They said that in order for me to be successful, I had to be married.
Mm.
Mm.
Can I stir the pot a little bit?
Please do.
Here's the worst advice I ever got. And I'll go on mute after this on. A happy wife, a happy life.
Uh-huh.
My God.
Your Lord.
Yes, sir.
My God, your Lord.
Yes, sir. I love it. Oh, man. Prophet?
That's a good one, man. That's a good one. Because I've had so many bad advices from the barbershop. The one that comes to mind. What she don't know won't hurt her.
Ooh.
What she don't know won't hurt her. And that is not good advice.
Bishop Davis ran away. He ain't. I'll say mine. Last week, there was this video that went viral that said that if you are single, you're not fooling nobody because you either gay or choking the chicken. So the worst advice that I got is last week, that video. That was trash.
Hey, Bishop,
The heck?
you ain't fooling nobody.
I ain't fooling nobody.
You ain't fooling nobody.
That's trash.
That
So
really did something to you, Antoine.
Hey, Bishop, that made me mad. I had to make a post about it. I normally never say nothing about it, but it's like, come on, fam. So I got married. I think the worst advice I got was I got married at 19 because they didn't want me fornicating, and it was the worst thing I could have ever done at that point.
Was that everybody?
Yes, sir. Everybody, it's on you, Bishop. What's the worst advice you've ever gotten about relationship?
That I wouldn't survive a divorce.
Yes, sir.
Didn't
Absolutely.
nobody say that one. I guess well, three of us, four,
Absolutely.
three of us, yeah. That I wouldn't survive a divorce. But in the words of my dear friend Bishop Marvin Sapp, I'm stronger, I'm wiser, I'm better. So much. No, I mean, they tell you all that stuff. Didn't nobody say this though? I guess that's women that say that. Stay with him. He take good care of you, don't he? You're gonna lose
They don't say
everything.
that for men.
Yeah, they don't say that for men. Speaking of the women, Melinda, you got the flyer? The women is tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, when the right one comes, the ladies edition. The ladies edition tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern time. When I tell you this is a crew right here, this is a crew right here.
I'm praying for you, Bishop.
This is a crew right here. So y'all join us tomorrow night. Get some men out here. All right, 9 p.m. right here. So let's start with this. And again, those of you that may ask, Pastor Frank Ray is in church as we speak. His grandfather hosts a conference this week, so he may make it and he may not. He just texted me. But y'all invite and share. Here we go. They in here to stalk. Look, the ladies in here, y'all.
And we're in the comments watching y'all. Dr. Nick, did you see my comment to you?
Here we come. Tell them this is the first time we've seen them in a long time.
No, they've been here the last few weeks.
I'm joking, Bishop. I'm
Oh,
joking.
all right. Somebody, Quentin said, I'll be here at 8:59.
Bishop, I'm praying for you. You're gonna need some help, Doc.
I know.
No, Bishop got that.
I done it with 50 women. Well, did I say it the wrong way? I didn't
Oh, wait a minute. You know what you mean, Bishop?
I'm choosing violence tomorrow. Wow.
Okay, anyway. So we're gonna talk about sex tonight. The subject is sex. Why is it Prophet Perry?
Oh man.
No, listen. Y'all be want to go to church, so we're gonna go to church tonight. Why is it that you feel that the church don't talk about sex and preachers don't? When was the last time you heard a series on sex?
It's been
But-
years. Me personally, I never even heard it preached.
I think the Timberlakes. You probably don't even remember them. Anybody remember the Timberlakes? No. Yeah. Only you.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course.
I
Yeah.
think that's one North Carolina, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's them.
I know if you're right.
They were known for it. They talked about everything, the relationship. Yeah. But go ahead. Why do you feel that we don't talk about sex and sex? Well, I don't want to go there yet, but go ahead. Why do you think I'm supposed to say?
Honestly, I think it's because we've been taught culturally that it is very much a private matter. What stays in the house, and then the way that culture has taught it that this is mine. We keep it private. We don't touch nothing. You don't deal with nothing. A lot of times, also it can expose the unfaithfulness regarding sexuality that some preachers don't preach on it, touch on it, because they're not really faithful themselves to what they're saying. So I don't. That's one of my thought patterns with it, because again, I didn't hear nothing about sex until I really started running the streets. The church didn't prepare me with no sex or nothing.
Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on. I want y'all to lean in, as they say. The ladies say, Anisha, you're saying you didn't hear nothing about sex until you start running the streets.
Absolutely.
That the church did not talk about sex.
Not at all. They didn't say.
So you learned as a man about sex, not from the church, but from the streets.
Yes, sir. They taught me how to be a successful preacher, but a failing man, because they never talked about what it was to be a man. They never talked about that. They just talked to me about how to 3 points in a palm, receiving the Spirit of God. They never talked practical to me. So when I got into the streets, the streets started talking about it. Are you getting you some? What are you doing? And teach you how to. I hate to say it like this, experiment and talk about that. So I went from, conversations about sex, that we never talked about, because sex that's not talked about is sex that you would eventually experience. And it can become misplaced that way. So I didn't know anything about it until, I started running the streets. My mom may have mentioned it, but, it's but so much she could teach regarding that with a man, as far as a man's world.
I want to ask Johnson, why do you think that preachers don't talk about it? The church don't do series, Johnson. Seriously, why do you? I want your perspective, because everybody up here comes from different denominations, and you're more from a traditional background where I came from.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Bishop. I think that part of the problem, well, I'll just be honest. A big piece of that problem is just ignorance. Most of the Baptist boys, I should say, or the traditional preachers, they invest a lot of time in studying, preaching the text. That's why those expository preaching conferences are popular. That's why those church growth conferences are very popular. They invest a lot of time in those areas of study. They don't invest the same amount of time in some of those practical subjects that Prophet Perry was talking about, unfortunately. Matter of fact, even when you look at the convention classes and Congress classes and things of that nature, you don't see any practical classes, not only about sex, but even retirement, finances, marriage. You don't see none of those type of classes.
Bishop, you talking?
Can't hear you, Bishop.
I can't hear you, Bishop.
Hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Melinda put me on mute because let me apologize. First of all, I'm eating my dinner.
Oh.
And so y'all forgive me. I promise I won't smack, but this is the life of a single man that's doing a lot. So do you think it was because of their own lifestyles that they didn't deal with it? Because we tend not to deal with stuff that we're doing ourselves. And I feel just the opposite. I think that no matter what I'm doing, I was taught from my grandfather that you preach about everything. The whole counsel of God.
Come on.
Yeah.
And your own preaching should hit you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
The whole.
The whole counsel. Yeah. So what y'all got to say?
Can I chime in, Bishop, and say this? As a younger man up here, I think me and Owen around the same age. The funny thing is that Bishop, let's take what you said, the whole counsel, teaching the whole counsel. I really want to go a different route and say I really think they were scared to talk about it because they were afraid to deal with the questions of why, what, you know what I mean? And I think if we really be honest, me and Dr. Orrin and AJ era, we came and we started asking Bishop AJ era, we started asking why. And then, of course, the generation after us started really asking why. And I think that we got so used to, in a setting of church, of laying down the law, because most of us were respected men or maybe a respected woman, because church, it was long going on before I came in. And because they had a level of respect, they just told people what to do without any explanation. And I think they were afraid of the why. They were afraid of, well, what do you mean by this? Or what do you mean by this? And I think, and I'm not trying to be insensitive, I want to be honest. I think that the lack thereof of education, yes, they had the Holy Spirit, Bishop AJ. Yes, they had the Holy Spirit, Dr. Orrin, but the lack of education and understanding and the knowledge centered around the topic, they were not prepared to have. Because when somebody was to buck your system and say, look, I know you told me not to have it, but God said I can have it in marriage. Now, here's the one question I have. What am I supposed to do with this until I get married? Until I can release this with a covenant marriage? And I think part of the issue was they didn't have the intellect to explain it, the lack thereof of education to give proper wisdom to it so that we could walk away saying, okay, Bishop, okay, Pastor, okay, Overseer, okay, Apostle, I understand what you're saying. And so I'm going to try my best to exercise waiting. But if I can't, I'm going to try my best. So,
Dwayne, did you come up Pentecostal?
Yeah, I did come up Pentecostal, strict Pentecostal.
Okay, so Johnson, help us out. We came up Baptist, and the guys that I hung around about Johnson, the older guys were educated. So
see, I came up strict Pentecostal.
Our denomination, education, even my grandfather went to school and got a degree. And I'm not talking about honorary. I mean, a lot of them guys that had DD on their name, they was real doctors of divinity. So in our case, I'm just speaking of our case, Johnson, am I right?
Yes. Yeah.
It was educated.
Yes.
So like when I think of a Frederick G. Sampson, you may not even know who that is, but he was one of the greatest that ever did it in Baptist church.
Yes, sir.
Sandy Ray, all them older guys, they were
A.B. Hill. Yeah.
They were educated.
They
And never talked about sex. My grandfather, in all of the times I was in ministry, I don't remember my grandfather talking about sex at home or out of the home. Sex was not a conversation. He whipped my auntie, who I was raised with, watch this, Antoine, because she kidded him one day because he was putting on his Old Spice and Brew. And
Yeah, Bishop.
she said, where you going, Daddy, to see your girlfriend? He said, what you say? Because my grandfather was always home. That's all I know. He was always there with my grandmother, and he got an ironing cord and whipped her tail and said, don't you ever say that again. I don't have but one woman. Didn't talk about sex, though. I guess that was his way of saying, I only got one wife. They didn't talk to you, Dwayne. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I agree with that. But they was educated. I just think that it was passed down, like you said. Go ahead, Clement.
My generation, they didn't want to encourage sex. They felt like if they talked about it, it would make people do it. I asked them, nephew, why they didn't want us to go to the movies? When my generation, me and Bishop generation, I come from a Pentecostal. Why you want to go to the movies? You know what they said? They said because sex happens in the movie theater. And I said to them, when we spend the kind of money we spend for a movie ticket, we is watching the movie. But they believed there was kissing and wedding, because back then, Broderick, that's where they got a chance to get together, was at the movie theater.
Yes,
so they didn't let us go to it. They didn't want to. They felt like if we talked about it so much. Watch this, Prophet Barry. They never even used the word sex. They called it sleeping around. And I told them, I almost got in trouble. I think I almost got put out of church because I was like, ain't nobody sleep. They was like, what? I said, y'all call it sleeping around, but ain't nobody sleep. These people is wide awake. And so they didn't want to do it. Remember when you got pregnant, and that was the big, they brought you up to the front of the church.
That's right.
They made you repent and apologize. They set you down. And so they didn't want to encourage sex by talking about sex. Even in the house. When I grew up, even in the house, they didn't talk about sex, nephew, because they felt like if we talked about it. Bishop, you say y'all was educated. Can I tell you why they didn't? There was two reasons why they didn't want us to go to seminary and theological school. Two reasons. One, because they felt like we would learn stuff that would totally throw our minds off, and they were teaching all kinds of crazy stuff in seminary. Back then, that's what they felt like. You're going to come back and question what they taught on the Bible, so they let us go. The other thing was, they didn't even want you to go away for college. They wanted you to stay in the city, because if you went away to college, you were going to get into sex. So everything was to keep you from doing it. They didn't talk about it. But here is the thing.
But they didn't call it sex. They called it sin. They didn't say sex.
That's what they called it. They called it sin, Bishop. You must have been around some Pentecostal folk. That's what they called it. And they didn't want to encourage sin, Pastor Johnson, so they wouldn't talk about it, because they felt like you were going to do it. Now watch this. We didn't find out till later all the long skirts and all the long jean skirts at the beaches was having babies. We didn't find out that then. And when they did, something did happen. They hid you away. In my generation, they sent you down south. They sent you away. Nobody knew nothing about the baby. Nobody knew nothing about anyone having sex. So they told us, if we talk about sex, they got mad about sex education in school. Y'all shouldn't be teaching that. Because if you taught about it, they felt like it was going to encourage. They didn't believe in teaching about condoms. They didn't believe in teaching about birth control back then. They didn't teach about none of that, because they didn't want to encourage sex. And then I'll come with another spin, because I can tell you how it hurt so many people. Let me just do it real quick. I got married to a young lady that was a virgin, Bishop. And she went back to the church one day. And Pastor Prairie, they asked her to teach a class. And she said, y'all messed us up. Because you told me to be celibate, don't do nothing until we get married. But then we mess around and marry men who know all this kind of stuff. So now we look crazy because we don't know nothing, and they know all this stuff, and now we're messed up. And so either way, it did not work out. Those were the things that they taught us in my generation, nephew, that they didn't want to encourage it.
Bishop, I want to add something to that real quickly. But even in the Black church, the nature of the Black church, we're not humanitarian. We call being human sin. So we're not humanitarians in the black church.
Talk tonight.
And so with me being human, you know, it's a sin to be human, to have desires, to want a woman, to want sex, to, you know, and I want to be explicit, my son, you know, who I had out of wedlock. The black church would have made me disown him or nearly degrade who I am. So in the black church, we're in nature, we're not humanitarians. Being human is sin. It's just sin. You know, me wanting to have a woman, me wanting to go out to the beach, you know, and until I got older, I realized that the short dress and the long dress go up the same way. You know,
I sure told.
So we in the black church, they call being human sin. Just being human sin.
Prophet, I got a question for you. Sure. Do you think that was because I agree with you 100%. Do you think that was or still is because many of them are afraid to confront their own humanity?
Absolutely. That's Johnson, you hit it, man. That's my first response. Jesus. I think they don't want to deal with their own desires, their own issues. The secret, I know we want to deviate too far, but you know, molestation, rape, all those unspoken matters that the church has swept under the rug. So then we preach through it, pray through it, sing through it. And the reality is, after all of that, the lights are gone and the chandeliers are cut, and I go home, it's still a reality. So I agree with you all the way. I agree with that.
Let me say, let me go there, Antoine. I have to tell y'all that my grandfather didn't preach about it, but there was more sex and babies going on in my church that my grandfather saw probably about 5-6 generations because they was always having babies. I was the pastor's son, and my first son came out of the back of the car coming back from a choir engagement. What y'all looking at me like that for?
No.
It's the facts.
We're judging you right now. No.
The bad part about it is and I saw this in the comments, and Antoine, you can come.
Yes,
they set the girls down.
They did.
But they didn't do nothing to the guys. Go ahead.
Nothing.
You know, Bishop, like as we've been thinking about this conversation, I am one of the pastors that talk about sexuality. If you go on YouTube, you see that I've been talking about sexuality my entire ministry. I think it is something that anywhere people actually live is what the church, we got to talk about it. And I don't think we should be afraid of it. I will give the old church a pass because I believe contextually they were dealing with sexual trauma.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They're coming out of oppression, slavery. They're now finding a place where they get to express themselves and worship God. You know what I'm saying? And they're able to find their identity, and a lot of their identity was stripped through illicit sexuality.
Oh, that's good.
You see what I'm saying? So a lot of their identity was stripped through it. You know what I'm saying? Their wives raped, their daughters are raped, their husbands are made to sleep with other people. And so because of that, I think that they were dealing with sexual trauma, that them not talking about it has impacted our generation, because now we're like, well, no, I need real answers for this. And so what happens is you make it moral. You make it moral. Anything that you struggle with that makes you defensive, you find very moral overtones very quick to like basically not deal with it. And I think that this is why this time we're like, yo, we need to talk about this stuff. This is real. I'm 39. Everything works. Ain't nothing dead about me. And so I need y'all to understand that we need to have these conversations, because oftentimes it has been used to strip people of their identity. So we're so busy judging behavior, but we don't realize that it was stripping people of their identity. And you wonder why people are giving themselves illicitly to sexuality, because they just don't have awareness of who they are. And so I think it has come from the trauma that we've dealt with. We talked a lot about the lack of education that we had to deal with. But I think we also know that there is a difference between wickedness and weakness. And a lot of the sexual conversation in the black church has only been scandalized through people's wickedness, not the regular person that's really trying to figure out their sexuality. It's very easy to talk about somebody's affairs, their babies, you know what I'm saying, them having sex with somebody that they're married to. And we scandalize that So we make it that much more fearful for people to even have honest conversation because don't nobody want to have their stuff in the street. Don't nobody want to be scandalized for their humanity. And we all are just trying to figure it out.
Hey, Bishop AJ.
Can I add to that too? Go ahead, nephew.
This is why I believe Bishop Greg. This is why I believe this. This is why transparency in this season has been so illuminated, because my generation thought that the generation prior wasn't being transparent enough. And so maybe, just maybe, we've gone just a little too far in our transparency. But this is, I believe this is why we're like this when we come onto stages and platforms and social media and different things, why we give so much, because we never want people to walk away from something that we're giving and saying that we weren't being honest about where we were, what we were thinking, how we were feeling. And so I think when Bishop AJ brings that point into reflection for us tonight, what I hear is like, hey, I can't really speak to something that I'm dealing with because I'm dealing with it from a trauma place more than I'm dealing with it from a free place. And I think that this conversation around sex, Bishop, has been so hard for the church. If you implement what he said, and if you even move years up until 2021, it's been a hard conversation, because I agree with you on, we don't want to talk about it because we feel like we're going to give people a license to go and do. And I think that also speaks to another issue, Bishop, that we have in the church called control. I never think that it's our job as leaders to dictate people's lives, but rather give them something to think about so that then God can convict their life and then they can exercise in the right direction of their life. And so I think all of this goes together, because I think what's happening to us is that we're seeing generations collide over topics like this, because I think now we do a good job at talking about it, but still the church is still lagging in this conversation because we don't want to dig into it. I think we focus so much on the spiritual side of who God is really, calling us to be, and speaking in tongues and the gifts. And there was a meme put up. It said spiritual giftings. Line was full, but it said, here go your word, Bishop AJ, personal development and character. The line was short. And I thought that was an interesting line, because we can put sex under personal development. We don't want to have those rough conversations around personal development, because it is causing us to not be transparent and real about it, because we feel like we're giving people a license instead of giving them something to think about.
Okay, let me say this, Broderick. After you, we're going to go further, because I don't want to stay in too long. I just want to start with the historical value. I don't want to stay in why we didn't, because we'll spend all night talking about why we didn't, and we'll never talk about what we need to talk about. So I want to shift in a minute. Go ahead, Broderick. No, go. You ain't saying nothing on this. We can't hear you.
You on mute.
Oh, you doing me like I do you, Bishop. Okay, but listen, I have this running theme, honoring the order. It makes no difference what you're talking about, honoring the order. And beyond the trauma, the abuse, the shame, and all those things, you can't just walk over those. Two things that are being missed out by the ignorance or the shame or what have you, and that is intimacy and relationship. Intimacy and relationship. One thing my daddy told me this is the only thing my dad told me about sex. Keep your pecker in your pants. I did my best until I found out the power that it possessed. And so for years, I was just having sex. I didn't understand that while I was having sex, and why I keep having to have sex, is because the need for intimacy and relationship, that was the real thing I was looking for. Watch this. But I had somehow misdiagnosed my symptoms. And so I was going for the sex, going for the sex. And, hey, it was nice. Okay. In many cases, it was awesome. To say it like Mike Tyson, it was awesome. But the point was, I want to get back to the key thing. Intimacy and relationship. The same two things that the devil himself fights us on. I'm talking about independent of sex, intimacy and relationship. He does not want that. And so he'll drag the sex down into that muddy hole. And then between the ignorance and the abuse, the purpose, the honor of the order and the honor is lost. I'm done. Thank you, Bishop.
So we know why it wasn't talked about. We know that everybody was doing it. The deacons, the trustees, the elders, the ministers. I'm going to reveal something that my grandfather, I wasn't even a preacher, but I was in the office when he told the young preachers at our church, he said, if you want to play around, go to somebody else's church, don't do it here. I mean, that's the kind of stuff, and my grandfather did no wrong, but I mean, that's the kind of stuff, the ignorance part of it, the not knowing that he told them, don't do it here. And it was a lot going on. It was a lot of sex going on at the Welcome Missionary Baptist Church. I can't tell you the sex that was going on down. It was an old supermarket. Sex was going on in the freezer while church was going on.
Oh.
When Amazing Grace was beginning to sing, then it was a lot going on sexual. So, Antoine, would this be the reason why that has been passed down, that nobody talks about it and everybody's doing it and we're not doing it properly? We're looking at it as something nasty.
Yes.
Sex was not ever developed or brought into the picture to be nasty.
Correct.
Okay? Never.
Correct.
It's not nasty.
Yep.
It's very good, actually.
Yeah.
So with that said, though, would this be the reason why we're so dysfunctional in the church, that we don't understand humanity and all of that? Antoine?
Hey, Sydney. So my daughter just walked in. Sydney, we talked about sex, right? I am weak. She's 16. So we talked about sex, right? Yeah. Sex is good. So I'm going to give you a lesson. Sex is good. There's nothing wrong with sexuality. Amen. But so here's a perfect example of what I'm saying, that I feel
1,000 times. She just died.
There's nothing wrong with it. I think, Bishop, the issue is that we don't know how to articulate it, because the only thing we think about sexuality is the moral side of it, and understanding that you are mind, body, soul. And because we have not talked about mind, body, soul, the fact that, look, your body gets hungry for a reason. Your body gets thirsty for a reason. Your body gets sexual for a reason. And because we don't understand the purpose of a thing, we will just throw the whole thing out because we don't know how to explain it. And I think philosophically, we're struggling with being able to have these conversations that are open, honest, and transparent, that actually make you think about it. So what we did is we try to keep you away from it instead of having the conversation to actually make you think about it and process through it. Because the thing is, I'm not going home with you as a pastor. You may be doing it before you got here or after I got here. Ain't nothing I can do to make you stop it. But you should be armed,
no matter what I say,
regardless of what I say. But you should be armed with honesty. And I think that this is the issue with the church, that we lack the empathy to have the conversation about sexuality. We only have two answers. It's right or wrong, or it's heaven or hell. But we lack the empathy to realize that people might be coming from a certain vantage point sexually, and how do we get them back to their starting line and be able to have these conversations through honest teaching?
Okay, so here's the thing. and this is, I saw a few people do this, so it wasn't just Angelica, it was a few people. So Antoine called his daughter, said over, right?
Yep.
And he said that. I don't know what she said. She probably was a little embarrassed because you on whatever. Okay, but watch what different one said. Poor baby, like it was something wrong. That's because that's the way it proved my point right there. That is the way we are wired or trained, that don't talk about it. Don't even talk about it to your kids. But hell, who you want to talk about it to your kids? I mean, I don't want a boy telling her.
I ain't letting Antoine tell her, that's for sure.
My 27-year-old is single right now, and she said, whoever come, they better come near about as good as I am. Okay,
What?
they're not gonna get me. They're not gonna get me. She's not gonna get me, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, I talk about stuff to her, I show her stuff. And so that is an example right there. Anybody else want to add to this? Is the reason why we're in the shape we're in? Because
I think the other thing, Bishop, sometimes even our top major people, don't talk about it. So people also not seeing anyone talk about it, even though we've come a long way. I'll give a prime example. Prophet Perry, I was with you guys on Sunday, right? And on Sundays, I'm doing all my shares. All my church folks is following me on the Prophets on Sunday. But when I share again on Monday, I share the same way. No different, just going down the line, sharing, right? In the message. Here's the thing. When they started coming over here a couple of weeks, Bishop, a good bit of my folks from Sunday was like, y'all are just too open and too loose over on Monday. So they wouldn't come over here on Monday. And I started texting some of them back and say, here is the problem, that I can't transition the same group, Perry, from Sunday to Monday, because y'all feel like we too open, too loose, when the same people on Sunday is Monday. The same two guys that the people, me, Perry, and Bishop was the same people on Sunday. We the same men on Monday. We ain't changed. We still prophetic. We still anointed. And here we go. But when I tell you, Bishop,
that goes back to the humanity thing from Perry.
They couldn't switch. They said we were too open to, and then I had some preachers ask me this question. I see they didn't ask him, that undertone. I see you and Bishop is now relationship coaches, and y'all just talk about everything. And I said, okay, what are you trying to say? How is it y'all are so free and open? I said, because we are free. That's why I made the post on yesterday. When you are free from people's opinions and what they think and what they feel, that's when you got true freedom. Me and Bishop is free. So whatever you want to think about us, we're helping people that I told someone yesterday, it may not be y'all normal. I've done that for 33 years. The folks on Clubhouse that we're helping, the first that we help on Sunday, is another group of people that need this help. And somebody's got to help. And they respect us in that place. So they couldn't make it. Perry gave the right word. We don't want to talk about humanity. I had so many people that stay on Sunday that will not come over here on Monday.
And go back to what I just said, because we comfortable with prophesying and speaking in tongues, and Oren and Prophet. Y'all know I'm not coming for the prophets. I love y'all. But we're so comfortable. Let me say it like this. We're comfortable with exercising our spiritual giftings. But when it comes down to sitting down and having a real conversation, this is what's so weird. Let's take Jesus. He wasn't sitting around with them disciples having prophetic moments all the time. They was having real conversation. The disciples were tradesmen in their craft. They had to been having real conversations about what's going to happen when he leave, what's going to happen when I go get crucified or die. This is what I need y'all to put into place. This is how I need y'all to move. And it weirds me that we as believers, we are so caught up in just staying right here in the giftings that we don't want to have real conversations about life. It don't have to be nasty. It don't have to be perverted. It's just life. It's life.
They say it though, Dwayne. They say the things that they don't want us to say, but they don't want us to say it. Because they say it at home. They don't want to hear their preacher say it. But so I just thought about while y'all was talking, when I got up and went and got some food, I said, I'm going back to about 10 years ago. WYD. What would WYJD. What would Jesus do?
WWJD.
What would Jesus do in this context? What would he talk about? Would he talk about sex and put it in a parable? See that, and let me say this. Some of the stuff we call preaching, never mind.
No, come on, Bishop.
No, some of the stuff that we call preaching, the most folk I talk to now, that we're not reaching them because they want to hear about everyday practical stuff. People are trying to be celibate. People are trying to live a celibate life. What's the other one? You got virgins out. You got different people that are keeping themselves, but we're not talking to them about keeping themselves. Abstinence, right? We're not talking to them. I mean, I don't care if everybody's having sex on here. We should still honor those who's trying to live that life. Well, I ain't talking about that because I ain't doing it. No. We're supposed to talk about it.
Yes, sir.
If we don't talk about it, then who's going to talk about it? We're leaving the world to teach the church.
Come on, Bishop.
We should be teaching about.
Come on, Bishop.
We're allowing the rap and the culture. We're allowing the culture to talk about sex. I'm not going to tell you who just texted me. I'm not going to say that. Never mind. But no,
Bishop, why do you do that?
A mother just texted me and she said, I tell my daughter to give head when she get married.
Right.
I thought y'all was going to talk. Y'all don't want to talk?
No, I'm with you, Bishop. I'm with you.
Oh, y'all, why y'all doing that? See,
no, we were speaking in tongues. We were speaking in tongues.
That's the apostolic people.
Yeah, no, we did that because we agree.
She's saying if you want to keep your husband, you need to give, because if not, somebody else, and y'all got to,
it's a real conversation.
We got 331 people on here, but people are losing their spouses. Are they getting cheated on? Because we're sitting here doing this, we're clutching the pearls. What?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Bishop, can I say this? I think that the scripture really does talk a lot about sexuality, and it talks about illicit sexuality. So for me, I've not really understood why people have an issue with the Bible and sexuality, because the Bible talks a lot about it. But I think this is the real thing, and I don't want to get too far off the rocker today, but I think it's about the conversation of sexuality within the confines of marriage. And this is why we don't really know how to really talk about it, Bishop. You muted. I don't think we know how to talk about it because
I said the Bible, there, so go ahead.
Okay, because the Bible deals with adultery. The Bible deals with but the definition of fornication is okay.
Come on, Bishop.
That definition of fornication does not equal premarital sex. That's that white man stuff. Nah, I don't want to get, but
going to hell.
But hear me out. That's not the parallel that it is actually drawing. The definition of fornication has to do with sexual idolatry, worshiping, the use of sexuality for worship. So there's a context here that I think that we don't talk about enough in church. And because we don't talk about these contexts of what the Bible is really dealing with, we are locking people and suppressing people sexually. And you will never be able to find freedom or the right way to do something if you are suppressed. There is a morality. There is a standard by which we are supposed to have. But self-control does not mean self-denial. And we don't know how to we don't know how to tie those worlds together. Because we teach self-control and self-denial. But I'm going to go on mute.
Listen, Bishop, I heard what you're saying, but I want you to please be a little bit more embarrassingly specific.
No. Because the reality is people need to study. The issue is because somebody just said something earlier, that we are letting the world socialize us sexually, but we're also letting ignorant religious people educate us about sexuality. So we have two extremes here. We have the world that is enculturating us to an ideology concerning sexuality that is just way too extreme. That is way too extreme. That's too far out there. But then you have religious people that are teaching you to basically deny your whole bodily function and don't know how to teach you self-control because they believe teaching you self-control is giving you a license. But hear me out, Broderick.
Yes,
There's a speed limit out here that says 35. And the
Yes, sir.
reason why I don't drive 80 and a 35 is because I like my freedom. That's why. So if we teach people where it actually is, then they know how to manage their freedom instead of trying to get them to drive under the speed limit, thinking that they're not going to break it. We're no different than the Pharisees. We're putting laws and fences around stuff that it ain't there.
So, Bishop, are you saying that we, specifically in the area of sex, we as Christians, believers, Bible toters, scripture quoters, that we're afraid of freedom conceptually?
Yes, sir, we are absolutely afraid of freedom because we think freedom gives people a license to sin. When the reality is my freedom makes me responsible.
They think it's a license to sin.
Okay, let's go a little further. So some would say sex is better before marriage. Let's get into sex. Some would say sex is better. See, oh God, that's our. Why I gotta be? Come on,
you know me. I'm just being facetious.
No, but I'm saying that is the way some people think, though.
Yeah.
That when you say, "Oh God, oh come on," you go to bring anything in a sermon on a Sunday, and it's got anything to do with sex. The people go, "Oh God, come on, Pat! Oh."
Yeah, they say you was doing it. You lost me right there, Bishop. They say you lost them right there.
Or some is going to say, Pastor, you know, I love you, but you just went too far. I got my kids here and all that. So let's go. Some would say sex is better before marriage. Then it gets boring and less. Kind of where Antoine was. Why is sex better when you're single than when you get married? Why does sex get boring when you get married? They say. Y'all heard it. Who want to talk about it?
Somebody said no sex before marriage, period.
I'll take a stab at it and say this.
Hey, let me say this. Yeah, let me say this. Belva, that's fine. But there are people that are having sex. So how did you put it earlier, Antoine? When we got to this part when they were saying, go ahead. You remember what you said?
Yes, sir. Well,
you said it on Clubhouse.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
The reality is we have to learn how to speak to where people are, not our expectations of what we want them to be. People are having sex. So speak truth to that place, not what they ought to be doing, because the scripture speaks to what we ought to do because it knows we don't do what we ought to do.
Belva, God bless you. Thank you for your opinion. The men are speaking tonight, though. So we love you, and thank you for that. But we're not speaking from that. We're speaking from the. Take it off, Melinda. We're speaking from the perspective of what people are doing. No disrespect. We don't mean any harm, but this is the reason right here. Okay. All right. So sex. Why is it that a lot of people, once they get married, sex is not as good? They stop. They shut down. What say y'all? Come on, marriage man, Apostle Claiborne.
Well, Paul, you said marriage. I was like, okay. Here's the thing. A lot of times, it may not be just as that it's good. You know, whenever ice cream is good when you ain't supposed to have it. You know, when you sneaking around doing it earlier, young people, it's always good. You talked about the back seat of the car. It's good when you doing some craziness to do it. It's all now when you got it
Probably, let me help you. I would still do it in the back seat if I was married.
Me too, but Me too. I was getting ready to go there, Bishop. But watch this now. Back then, the back seat of the car became an exciting thing. Broderick, I see her every day now to say to her that I'm married to her. Let's pull over. Her thing now is why? Somehow, the more we have access to it, the less exciting we are about it. While we should be more excited about it, but for some reason, now that you have full, okay, for example, when I didn't purchase ice cream, I always wanted to get it. Once I put it in my refrigerator, Project, I ate it for the first 2 days, then it's just sitting there. Because now I have access to it, and I'm not excited about it because I have access to it. But the problem is that you got to make it more spicy. When I was going to date the girl, okay, I see, yeah. And when I was going to date the girl, Perry, she made it exciting when I went to go see her.
Uh-huh.
She made it smell good in there. She made it exciting. Even texted me, boy, I can't wait till you get here. Now that I'm with you every day, you don't do any exciting thing. You come to bed with the bonnet on. You come to bed with the whole pajama set. I used to have a saying that you can't come to my bed with any pants on. Period. I'll turn the heat up before I let you come in. But that was the problem, Bishop. So I think, and I'm done. I
got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So are you saying that they got too comfortable in a relationship and they lost a lack of spice, and they lost a lack of interest, and this is why I'm asking that question?
Yes, absolutely. Because dating her, she did all kinds of spicy things.
Yeah.
Dating her.
Spicy.
She did. She wanted to keep you excited about her. Now that you have me, you no longer are excited because I can roll over in the bed and it's just boom, okay, let's go. You no longer make it exciting for me. And so this is what happens. We've gotten so comfortable using your word, which is perfect word. We've gotten so comfortable that we don't want to do all the things. Let me go here real quick, Bishop. The things that you just said about what the mother said, the things you did when you was getting me, the things that you did in the beginning. Now, Pastor Johnson, now you've been with me for a couple of years. You don't wake me up in the morning like you used to. You don't send me to bed like you used to. You don't send me to work at Perry at the door to say, I know you're going out the door, but I just want to give you a little something. Yeah. You don't do that no more because now I'm going to work. Now, so Bishop pushed me all the way out there, kept saying, come on. But that's what has happened, Bishop. They got married now. And now you go out to work and they be like, all right, goodbye, baby. And you let me kiss you. You don't even kiss me. You let me kiss you and you gone. But before, you used to wake up in the morning and meet me at the door. And I'm like, girl, I got to go. And you're like, I need to do something before you get up out of here. You made it exciting. That was my share.
But Antoine, because you've been married. Okay, I'm going to talk about me too then. That's not just their fault, Claiborne. While I agree with you 100%, I agree with you 100% on their side, but it's also the man's fault.
What?
Because he don't do what he used to neither.
Good one, Bishop.
Oh, Zion, you don't sing like you used to. You used to romance her, and this is for the brethren that's not married yet. Yeah. You can't send her flowers, okay? Before you get married, and then don't send her nothing no more. You can't call her and romance her and send her different. More people sending naked pictures single than they do married.
Oh, Bishop.
Hello,
Bishop.
They sending body parts through DMs of people that they don't even know. So how the hell you don't send it to your own wife or husband? Now we can't. Claiborne, we can't put it all on them.
I agree with you, Bishop. I was just giving one side, but I agree with you 100%.
I'm messing with you. Come on, I'm messing with you.
Come on, Bishop.
So you can't send nasty texts and baby, I can't wait to see you and you look good. What you got on right now? When was the last time you asked your wife what she had on? What you got on?
One of my posts.
Sex don't start in the act.
Starts in the head.
It starts in the head.
In the head.
And not giving some. It starts in the head, not giving.
I heard you.
Okay. So I'm saying that it starts while you're at work and saying, baby, I can't wait to get home and do it. Matter of fact, I'm sending you some Uber Eats, and I'm sending you over some strawberries. I'm going. You know, I can tell you all how to do it now. Okay. I'm sending you something. You know, you right across the table from her and you texting her.
Ooh.
You know, or you DM her and you married to her and say, "Ooh, baby, are you taken?" You have to get in the head.
So you're talking about foreplay, Bishop.
Hold on, I got revelation. Maybe the reason why you're not getting no head is because you ain't in the
Hey,
head.
Bishop, I'm writing it. I'm gonna text that to you. Bishop. I shot ta boy.
Oh, Bishop.
Hey,
So-
Bishop, you feel like preaching tonight.
So
God.
Johnson, I don't mean to embarrass you tonight. You know, I know you conservative, you're the old man, but I'm just saying it don't start. You have to romance. Sex is wonderful, but foreplay is, oh my God.
Foreplay, Doc.
Foreplay, touch.
My God.
Johnson, used to it. Foreplay.
You do it on the date. You touch one another in the car, and by the time you get in the door, she's taking your clothes.
By the time
Talk my language, sir.
We talk about that. Hold on. We talking married folk right now.
Married folk, only married folk. Yes, Bishop.
Boo.
I'm
No,
your
I'm
witness.
just saying, Antoine. I'm just saying. Okay. So listen, y'all. You lose it because the man never says it ain't what it used to be. Not only does he not do it, but he don't say, baby, is something wrong? Am I not, watch this. Am I not doing it the right way anymore? And then you can't be mad when y'all sending seeds on this. You can't be mad when she says, you just get on top of me and do your business and go to sleep. But before we got married, you put in time.
Talk, sir.
Hello?
You just ambushed the devil tonight. He did not see this coming.
You cannot go 2 or 3 days and don't even want to touch your wife.
Bishop.
Talk, sir.
And y'all on the edge of the bed. You may end up on the edge later on, but it starts with cuddling and then you go to your sides.
Yes.
But you're not doing this. You're not doing this because we lose it somewhere else. And then the girl at work, she sees what's lacking. And then that's how you get into extramarital affairs. We got to do better. Those of you that want to get married, this will help you. You ain't got to go to no college. This will help you. Brother Quentin, all these brothers, Christopher, young man, you got to romance her. Okay? Before you get to the sheets. When you get to the sheets, she'll have on different wigs. She'll buy different wigs for you.
Bishop, she'll call you king, right?
Right.
I got nervous for Bishop. You said when she get to the sheets, I got nervous. Not that.
I mean, you won't have to talk about what she wants, what she won't do and won't. When you get in the headspace, when you get in the mind,
In her mind.
then you got her. Women like to be romanced in the mind. She don't care how big you are or how good you can do it. If you can get in here.
Get in here.
All right. Who wants to
Bishop,
talk?
so Bishop, suffice it to say, you telling us to get in the mind before we try to get the behind.
Yep.
I just felt something on this side, Pastor. I just felt something on this side.
So while that's good. That's good, Nick. So while you're having that discussion on why she don't want to be bothered with you no more, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you ought to find out. The best thing that you can do in the world is ask a woman, gentlemen,
Yes,
not because I know y'all know.
No.
How do you want me to love you?
Yeah.
Where do you want me to touch you? Because every woman is not a cookie cutter.
How do you
At all.
want it?
How do
Some like
you
it
feel?
fast, some like it slow, some like it. Where's your spot at?
Yes.
Go ahead, take it, somebody, because y'all
No,
don't like.
no, Bishop, come on. You in a
I've
flow.
never seen Johnson smile so much in one night.
I never, Bishop. Can I
I
tell
never
you,
seen the
Bishop?
smile this much either.
Some of the young guys,
Quentin
when we talk,
Hardy said $50 for dang, Bishop.
Hey,
some of the,
Bishop.
go ahead, Johnson. You ain't talking. Go ahead, Johnson. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, Bishop, I was smiling because I was thinking about bringing you to my church to teach this stuff. Because you'll be surprised how many married couples are unaware of this free game you just gave.
Absolutely.
Wow.
We are assuming that. See, here it is. We're not talking about sex on the front end, so we're not talking about sex for the singles, right? We just discussed it. But we're not even talking about it in the context of marriage either. We're not talking about it at all. So we are assuming that people who've been married 15, 20, 30, 40 years, we are assuming that they know what to do. And many
they
of
do,
them don't.
Johnson. They stopped doing it.
That's
If
very
we
good.
go back to what we originally talked about, Johnson, where they gonna get it from?
Yeah.
The Holy Spirit.
Let's just say a young couple are virgins and nobody has that. Let's just say that there is a rarity of a man virgin and a woman virgin.
Right.
And there are some still out here.
Right.
And just think that none of their parents have discussed it with them. Nobody has ever said, hell, they don't even discuss when a woman is going through the change of life to tell a man. The old man should be able to tell the young man, let me tell you what's going to happen so you won't lose her. We don't talk about it.
Right.
Marriages can be saved if you just know how to romance them. A woman will give you anything if you romance her. Not like Color Purple. Mr. Just get on top of me and just do his business and go to sleep. The other woman, the one that was a bisexual, she had Mr. pulling all his money out of the flow and everywhere on Color Purple. You remember when she would come to town? He would get out there. Oh, she coming. She coming. And he just got on top of the other. But this one, he romanced. Why? Because she brought something out of him.
Yes.
The other one wasn't taught to do nothing but he just get on top of me and lay on me and do his business. Okay.
So, Bishop, you're going to do When the Right One Comes, Marriage Edition.
No, we're gonna talk about all this on our tour when we're going on tour. We're going to Atlanta. We're talking about all this on tour.
Oh, yeah.
This gonna be part of the subject. Sex is a big part, just like we talk about communication. You better communicate with them, but you ain't communicating with them in the sexual area.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't know women that want preachers. Are we gonna talk? We're gonna talk, Antoine. What we gonna do?
Talk, Bishop.
Women that want preachers. Hello?
Yeah.
They don't want to come home and talk about their sermon when they get through.
No.
They read. They done gave out. Now they need you to minister to them.
What?
Absolutely.
Hello? They need
Hello?
you to minister to them. They don't need all that. They cook them a nice meal and then just wear them out. Any man. That's what you're talking about. Don't just be his piece, like Michael said. Give him a piece.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Where are we going? Let me see. I didn't.
Bishop, you know what's so crazy? I was at the cookout yesterday, and myself and the older men was talking to the young guys this way, and they talked about, well, oh man, we ain't got time for this. And I said, the problem with y'all young guys is y'all don't want to learn how to romance and finesse. And they was like, oh, listen, he got the old school pimping. Well, baby, let me tell you something. I ain't got no problem with women. I don't got that kind of problem. So if you call it whatever you want to call it, what Bishop and I talking about is how you get this fire to stay going the whole time. That's what we talking about. Just because you married, don't stop doing the things that you're doing and compliment. Man, let the compliment, like, girl, your legs, something about you, just still do it for me. Something about, and when you start making her feel like, go ahead, go, you walk up on her while she cooking, Barry, while she cooking, and be like, listen, I'm about to turn this pot off. If you can make her turn the pot off for a few minutes, You got in a whole nother space when you start sharing them things. As a matter of fact, we ain't got to wait. Let me see if I can pull you up on this counter. Let me see if I can lift you up on this counter. Let me put you on the table. When you start saying stuff like that, making them feel amazing, women will do some things when you make them, because remember, they go through subconscious. I got a thing coming up because one of the female pastors or first ladies, she said a lot of older women are going through the menopause, and they want me to come and share, because I tell them it's she becoming something different. You want to be careful with what you say. Be prepared for certain things, and certain things are going to happen. Still making her feel like a woman because they're going through. We've stopped doing that. And I don't know, maybe Perry and nephew can talk, but some of the young guys, not you, these guys, but a lot of the young guys feel like, man, no, I'm just telling I want to just go straight to it instead of easing up on it, instead of slow walking on it and make her want to give it. A lot of the young guys that I've been able to talk to, they want to go straight to it, don't want to do the romantic thing.
Claiborne, part of the problem is
that
we do our business, but we don't allow them to get their part.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
There's no better love making with a married couple is that's in tune with one another, and they're really one that they can come at the same time.
And nothing more amazing. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought I was on mute.
To me, he is wonderful.
No, you can't just get. Matter of fact, if you're a real man, you're gonna make sure that they're straight first.
Oh, Bishop, you going there tonight?
Because you'll be set. Trust me.
Right. We men can be selfish.
Absolutely.
Men can be selfish. I just want mine. I just want to do what I'm gonna do. But when you really the G,
yes,
you can make them do what they need to do, and then you worry about yourself. If you're really a G, you
several times.
No. If you're really a G, then you lay over and say, "I'm good." I just want to make sure you was all right.
Oh.
Somebody send this man an offering.
I mean, the offering time.
I'm just saying.
Bishop.
Go ahead. Okay, let's go. Okay, let me get to the questions. We're getting ready to close. So I think we answered the question about marriage, right?
Oh, yeah.
What point should sex be discussed in the dating process? At what point should sex be talked about in the dating process? Anybody, quickly.
On the third conversation, because the first conversation is for the Father, the second one is for the Son, and the third one is for the Holy Ghost.
Okay, we're gonna have to turn in a minute, Broderick. Just remind them.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay, we turn in the corner.
I'm just so proud of you.
Now watch this. On the real, I think Bishop Antoine might even agree with me rarely. As soon as it feels comfortable or natural, or his favorite word, organic.
So not if you're not sure if you're going any further with the person, though, right?
No, I think no. But I don't know, because I mean, it's the simplest things. You know, there's so much we don't talk about. Let me give you an example. You
but
out with a girl,
things, Broderick, that you want her, you trying to have sex. You're trying to have sex with her if you go to talking about it before you're serious.
Well, no. There's something about freedom and sexuality that lets you know how free a person is in all things.
Preach.
Did you hear what I just said?
I did.
So if I go out to dinner with a young lady or even have a conversation, if I say something like you said tonight about before you try to get head, you know, sometimes I could say something about a meal, or it could be someone on the phone and have this sexual connotation. If it go crickets on me and she tighten up, I don't care if she's doing it for the Lord. that tells me something I need to
No,
watch out
Broderick,
for.
I have to disagree with you.
Okay.
You know why?
Yes, sir. No.
I think you're just after that.
Yeah, but if it's just a little insinuation, okay.
That's just my opinion.
Because they
Yeah,
always date
Bishop.
men like that anyway.
Yeah, Bishop, I'm kind of with Broderick on this one.
Really?
I'm with
Yes,
Broderick too.
I
I'm with
win.
Broderick on this
I
one, Bishop.
win.
Not me.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Okay, so hear what he's saying. Y'all hear what he's saying? He's saying that soon as you feel comfortable, that don't mean she's comfortable.
Well, right. What I meant was it was mutual, but I was saying if it's mutual, and then to some ways you can tell without going overboard. Like it's just like if
Well,
sometimes
I'm thinking about
Hey.
I'm Bishop Greg Davis, so I want to know who sent you.
Hey, Bishop, but it's a fact.
if a young lady does that,
No, I'm saying I gotta be. Okay, go ahead.
No,
ahead.
but Antoine, why did you agree with me somewhat?
The reason why I agree with you somewhat is like this. I can tell a lot about a woman if I say let's go eat sushi versus let's go eat hamburgers.
Mhm.
I can tell from that conversation
I'm with you, Bishop.
the mindset.
Yes,
so,
sir.
So all I'm saying is what Broderick is saying is in context that if he's saying sushi or hamburgers, he can tell where she is and how open she is to the conversation concerning sexuality, which is still organic.
Like Bishop, I've gone out.
Sexuality. With sexuality, Bishop Antoine.
Yeah, right. but
Trust me, I know Broderick.
Bishop, I'm not that bad. But listen, like I've been talking
Hey,
to a young lady.
Johnson, while you're giving your consent to this, you have no idea what you're doing.
But Bishop, gentlemen, watch this. Like sometimes you be
know
talking to
he's an entertainer, he's a comedian, he's not a pastor.
I got you.
Listen, but I'm a preacher.
You're still an entertainer.
Listen, watch this, Bishop. Listen. Sometimes you be talking to a young lady, and she didn't mean no harm, I don't think. But I said, "What you want to eat?" She said, "Listen, this all she said was, she said, hot dogs is fine. I love hot dogs." My mind, depending on how she said that, I'm Bishop, come back, Bishop. But in my mind, I'm wondering, why did she say that like that? Or was that me?
Antoine, is that what you're talking
That was
about?
you.
Antoine, is that what you're talking about?
And listen,
Well,
and
that was you,
especially,
Doctor.
watch this, especially
Antoine,
Dwayne.
Johnson, you still stand by this?
Well, wait, oh, come on, Johnson, you was, oh, man.
Perry, you still with
I'm
us?
out.
Okay, so fellas,
I told you.
Hey, Broderick, I got your back tonight, man.
thank you, Dwayne.
We are out. We are out.
I'm out.
You
All
lost
right,
everybody.
I gotta be quiet because we turned in the corner. I can't mess up the corner.
That's what I'm saying. Johnson, I tried to warn you.
But wait a minute. If a young lady sort of says something like that, not like, oh, I'm gonna get your hot dog. The point is, but if she just says,
We know what
if
that
she just
means.
huh?
We know what that means. Just like if you say tail, it's references to that.
But what I'm gonna use a word here, y'all.
Roger.
But I like when it's benign to the point where it's not overt. You're not sure, and it's kind of floating out there. I get excited. I feel God is about to do
this
something
would
in my
be
midnight.
And this would be the reason for 30 years of silence.
Broderick. The church has been totally silent.
I'm done, y'all. Listen, y'all. Selah.
When was the last time you was married?
Yes, sir.
When was the last time you was married?
1992.
Yeah, some people weren't even born yet.
Sorry,
Anyway,
guys. Sorry.
So anybody else at what point? See, I think that when you're getting ready to to and I'm afraid to let Antoine loose on this because I know what he said.
Let him loose.
I think you start discussing it when you're about to be committed to that person, because why be committed to the person? And I'm talking about you going out of the dating phase. Now you're in the committed phase, and you want to make sure that y'all think alike before you commit, because commitment could turn into proposal, and proposal could turn into marriage. So you need to at least talk about it. So Antoine, you say what? Go ahead.
Bishop, if you ask me about my credit score, if you ask me about how much money I got in the bank, if you asking me about my future vision for our family, if you asking me about when you want to get married, I need to know who I'm gonna be married to the rest of my life and who I'm being asked to be committed to sexually the rest of my life. I need to know where it's at.
But you don't ask them in the dating data phase.
They asking day one what my credit score is.
Hello. See,
So you're gonna ask them day one.
And I'm gonna ask, what do you like about sexuality? Because
Day one.
I
Yeah, maybe I have to remember. Again, it's scary for me out in these streets because people be trying to get you.
it's the same too, but Bishop, I would rather be honest in the way you.
Where I'm coming. You understand where I'm coming from? Now.
Yes, sir. I do. But it's like, fam, you want to know my credit score. You want to know what you want to know all of this stuff concerning me, and you're asking me to be faithful to you. So the question of sexuality isn't about how nasty you are. It's about, is this somebody that I'm sexually compatible with? Am I compatible with you? Or is this going to be something that is that's a major facet of a relationship that I think we should know.
You want to ask about their sexuality on the second date, the third date, or when they
if the moment they ask me for my credit score.
As soon as they ask you about your credit score, then you asking them about sexuality.
I'm going to be like, so what's up with this? Where are you?
What you like? What's your favorite position?
Broderick,
Ask me for my credit score.
Broderick, don't talk no more tonight, especially next 30 minutes. Pastor Ray, good to see you tonight.
Listen, I just wanted to come say what's up, y'all. I'm just leaving. Well, I'm just leaving church and changing clothes.
So you haven't heard any of this?
I hadn't heard nothing. I just wanted to come on here and tell y'all that I love y'all and I appreciate y'all.
I promise.
We love you.
We love you, man.
You need to look at this show.
We having sex, Pastor Ray.
We talking about sex.
Sex.
And,
Okay.
and people been saying, "Oh, Ray had to miss this show."
Juicy.
Listen, we're gonna have to do another part.
A part two. We'll do part two.
Part two.
Yeah, because we got stuck. We'll definitely do part two. So y'all, let's so y'all agree with Antoine
And Broderick? Yeah.
I think
Asking questions.
for me,
I agree with Bishop Antoine and the first part of Broderick's
Oh
discussion.
my, I'm still winning. I'm still
I agree
winning.
with part A, not part B.
until he got to the description of a hot dog.
Exactly.
I think for me, I don't understand any of this. Broderick, you said it the first part. So I'm Johnson. I'm gonna go to his first part. You said when it's organic. I have never had to schedule when I was gonna talk about sex. And now Antoine, this must be a new breed. And maybe I'm gonna stay away from them girls. I ain't never had no woman ask me my credit score or how much money I got in the bank. I have never had those questions asked to me ever.
I have.
Not ever.
I have.
Not ever. I mean, I'm exaggerating. I'm talking about since I was a teenager to now. I've never had a woman cut those questions.
They
Now, do
scared.
they find
They
out?
scared,
Yeah.
Prophet. They scared.
Well, I want them to stay that way because I just think direct questions early on like that. What? I can see why Antoine say what he's saying because you're being real bold about my business. So I see why he said that. But I am about the organic. I have talked about sex. Sometimes it's been on the first date. Sometimes it's been days later. We're not talking about sex with each other. We may just be having a conversation about what sex is and how it can be, or maybe past relationships or whatever. I just think it's organic and not forced. I can't say a day or a time because I never even looked at it that way. It just comes out. And if she's not squeamish I'm not squeamish. We just having these conversations. Grown people talk. This grown people conversation. But I think, Antoine, where I'm gonna run away, it ain't gonna be the sex question. It's going to do all my business. What is this? What is that? What is the other? Wait a minute. Who sent you? I'm with Bishop. Maybe I'm from that group. Who sent you to be asking me all these questions? You work for the FBI? I need to know all this kind of stuff. So I think organic is my answer.
No,
Hey.
I don't want to know if you work for the FBI. I want to know if you work for Larry Reed or somebody. That's what I want.
Oh, that's even worse.
Well, Bishop, it's kind of the same idea though of what we were talking about earlier with the church. Okay, so are we just response oriented to this conversation? So can you not initiate a conversation about sexuality and it not be nasty and not be dirty?
I don't think that there's anything wrong with instituting the conversation. It's when.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not going to ask somebody about anything sexuality immediately until I vet you. I got to think about all that because of what I represent and who I am. Not just even church, but I've had blogs and all that. I've messed up, but still, I'm not just going to give away to, you know what I'm saying? That's been my problem. I let people in too much, and so I'm saying, at what point then? That's the real question. What the real question? At what Antoine said credit, but I don't think a woman should ask you your credit until you're getting ready to move forward.
Absolutely.
I definitely think my credit score.
And
I
Bishop,
agree with
and,
you, Bishop.
Broderick
and then
nailed
when
it.
you do, you say, ladies first. You may go. Give me your credit score first.
Broderick, you nailed it though. It's about when it's an organic conversation. It's not forced.
Yeah.
It's really organic.
Right.
But it's grown people conversation that I'm saying needs to be had though. I'm not waiting till I get married to find out. I'm gonna ask some questions. I need to know what you like.
No,
and what
I'm
you
with
don't.
that. No,
Yeah.
I'm not saying no.
Yes,
I
sir.
said the turn should take when you are going from the dating phase, which I believe dating is data, and you're getting ready to say, okay, let's see where this can go. Then you get into those questions of sex and credit and all that, because I do believe it's okay for each other to share credit scores. I don't think that that's a deal breaker because somebody's credit is not, as long as we working toward it together. But you ain't gonna mess up mine.
Right.
I work too hard, okay, to get where I'm at. Where it don't take a few minutes for them to tell you you got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that took a long time. But the sex thing is important because I'm not gonna be sexually frustrated. I done died one time. I ain't gonna die no more.
Talk, man to God.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it, but I just think I'm just speaking for me personally. You gotta be
Yes,
careful when
Bishop.
you ask it. Yeah, you gotta be careful when you ask it.
Hey,
So-
Bishop, when you're having those deep conversations, make sure they're not fidgeting with that phone.
Absolutely, that's what I'm talking about. I know what
I've had conversations and I required the phones to be off.
absolutely. And it's
How
real.
did you make sure that happened?
I watched them turn off the phone. I was serious about that. I don't play.
Phones coming into my house, phones and guns, I gotta know where they are.
Exactly.
Wow.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Phones
gotta
and guns.
I require to know that you have a gun in my house. If you're a female, yeah. If
I
you come-
never thought about that.
Yeah, you ain't coming to my house with a gun on. I'm like the bank and stuff. You can't come in there at the mall. Don't come in with no gun or phone. Johnson, you're right. You got to understand, and that's where we mess up at. We don't understand who we are.
We don't protect
So at
ourselves.
some point, because I just think, and I'm closing with this, that when you ask it too soon, then that says to a woman, "Wow, that's all you want." And I can't get nobody to help me but Claiborne on that one. I never thought we would be on the same page.
We're on the same page tonight.
Bishop, we agree with you.
We're gonna do part 2 of this next week
We got to.
because I didn't get that. I didn't get halfway, and then of course Frank is actually really good at this conversation.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. So I want to get into, what's off limits in a marriage. Do you Christians, but y'all out here, Antoine, because he can talk about this good. Is y'all test driving the car before?
Oh God.
Don't answer yet, Antoine. Sex. I might even get a flyer, an extra flyer made for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was good. The guys did not know until 1 minute before we went on. We were talking about sex tonight. Ladies, if y'all want part 2, just say yeah. I simply need tonight 20 people to share in our anniversary of 48 weeks. If I get 20 people to share $48, or I can simply get, if I can get 7 people to sow 148, we can just get on off of here.
Wow.
Deanna said, I'm test driving, not leaving with a lemon. Tomorrow night, 9 p.m., the women will be here. It's time to give, Melinda. I want to be a blessing to the men. They're transparent. They've been here for 48 weeks, some of them. Some of them been here 20 weeks, some been 10, some been 15. Dwayne must have let somebody, where's Dwayne at? I need you all to give tonight. Those of you that would give $48, just 20 of you that would do that. I just need you to say yes. And I need you to go to the Cash App $. It amazes me. We had 356 people and now it's 316.
Wow.
Y'all just leave. Okay. Thank you, Prophet Scott. Got 148. Got 148. Thank you, Kira, for $50. Thank you so much. Let's do it, y'all. Let's knock this out of the way quick. Okay. If you appreciate the conversation, then give tonight. Quentin gave $50 for the dang bishop. Ellen gave $50. Joe gave $50. Broderick gave earlier today $50. Thank you, AW Enterprise, $50. Let's get it done, y'all. If I can get 6 more to give 148. 50 on Zelle. Thank you, Kai. All right, let's get it done, y'all. Y'all tell me what y'all doing. That's not Terry Long tonight. This was a good conversation. This is where this is the only place you're gonna hear this. Kimberly, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Kimberly. $48. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's get it done. I need some more, y'all. There's 270 people on here. Offering time, boy, just like church. Turn the lights on, it scatters. But I need those of you that really appreciate. R.J. Jones, $48. Thank you. Some more of you that would give that $48. Michael Claiborne, $48. Thank you. Thank you, Tyler Duncan, 148. Wow. Talya. Did I say that right? Taylor? Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If I get 5 more to do that. Everybody else give $48 tonight in celebrating. We are on our way. Malik, good. $48 for transparency. That's a man. Thank you. Ariel Dorset, $48. Thank you. Linda Allen, 25. Thank you. Annette Murray, 10. Thank you. Keep going, y'all. Let's go. I got your text, Perry. I got you. And to those that I may have offended, I apologize to you. Thank you, Shirley. $20 off of YouTube. You gave from YouTube. Thank you. Oren Perry Ministries, $48. I'm waiting on some more of you to give that 148, that $48. If you're not following the men on their social media, take time out now to follow all of these men on social media. Again, tomorrow night. The 15th and 16th of October, When the Right One Comes tour is traveling to Atlanta, Georgia. The 15th and 16th, the Mixer on Friday night. Saturday from 12 to 4 will be the event. And we're going to have a band, a DJ, food, drinks, and talk. Anisha will be joining me, and those that want to be a part of what we're doing. Of course, I'm sure some of the men will be there because some of them already told me.
Be there.
Okay. It's going to be nice. $99. Early bird, $129 will be the actual registration. And some of you have asked about hotels. And so we're going to work on hotels. But if you want, Christy Rigby, $48. Thank you. If you want to come, just put it in the comment right now, Atlanta. Just put Atlanta if you're interested in coming. Just put Atlanta. Thank you, Dwayne, 30. Thank you. Crystal Joyner, thank you. Maya, Zell 50. Okay, thank you. If you want to come to Atlanta, put Atlanta on there. We are working on coming to Houston and Dallas. Actually had somebody ask Corey Hughes said he would host us in Dallas. And I have somebody that said they would host us in Houston. So also talking about, of course, going to Miami. Shout out to Miami. That's where I'm at. Y'all pray. That storm's supposed to be coming through here. Not a hurricane, but just, yeah.
DC.
All right. All right, y'all continue to give. Come on, y'all. Come on. Just a few more of you all that would give $48. Thank you, Pastor Johnson. Appreciate you. $48. Shalise Burke, $48. Thank you. Y'all come to Houston. There's a lot of Houstons on here. Come to Vegas. Okay.
Vegas would be nice.
Vegas would be nice. Chicago.
You can't go on no.
What?
Oh, Los Angeles.
Like Bishop loved Miami. Vegas is not my own. I go.
You got too excited right there.
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Hey, Dwayne, see, this is the benefit of being single. We can go to all of them. We ain't gotta ask nobody nothing.
Bishop Thompson.
We in there. We coming.
You just get up and go. Don't that feel good? That's
Absolutely.
that's what makes it hard too, because unless you have somebody that understand, you know what I'm saying? Where you going? You going somewhere again? Yeah. It's a no for me. It's a no for me.
Why is he singing it though? It's a no for me.
It's a no for me. All right, y'all. Anybody else that's going to give? Y'all said a couple of cities I'm down for. Yeah, we're gonna have good band, good music.
What's the dates on it again?
15th and 16th of October.
Okay.
Friday night mixer and Saturday will be the day meeting. All things relationship we're going to be talking about. All right, y'all. It is almost midnight, and it's been a long day for all of us. Tomorrow's a work day for many that work 9 to 5s. I don't want to hold you, but you can still give. Marlinda will leave the information. We thank God for Marlinda in the background, who puts all of the comments on, and she does the prophets, and she's doing the men. Tomorrow night she'll do New Orleans. Oh yeah, New Orleans definitely. I know Brooklyn, New York is definitely. I have a great following in Brooklyn, so yeah. All right, let's get ready to go. At the end of the day, hopefully we'll get you to start thinking about your sexuality, and that you are human. While you are spiritual, but you are human, and it is very, very right for us to talk about sex. We'll continue next week. Thank y'all. I see y'all saying Atlanta. All right. In the next week, we'll have the information out. Eventbrite, or to go to my website to register. It is limited seating, so I hope it don't offend you that it's in a club. Amen. It's in a club. All right, y'all. Y'all ready to go? Anybody got any announcements? All right. We here tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. The women will be in the house. We will see you then. The given information will be left up for at least 5 minutes for you to continue to give. Good night, everybody. Thank y'all, men. Appreciate y'all. Week 49 on the way. Good night. Y'all go follow Bishop Antoine on IG. He getting ready to go on IG. You going on IG, right? He going on IG. Y'all flood IG Antoine Jackson. All right. Talk to y'all later.